Welcome to On the Right Side of History with Kansans for Life. Come with us as we connect the pro-life movement's past to present, uncover hidden or forgotten history, and its connections to the battle still raging today. Now, here's our host, Danielle Underwood.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to On the Right Side of History with Kansans for Life. Today, Alesia Smith joins me on the podcast. Hi, Alesia.
Hi.
Alesia is a wife, mom, and nurse. Her husband, an Army vet turned teacher. In 2020, they were a happy family of 5 with 3 beautiful little girls when they received news that rocked their world. It all started with a positive pregnancy test and a routine trip to her doctor. So, Alesia, take us back to that day that is stamped on your memory. And tell us, how did that day begin?
Oh boy, what a day. So we, like you said, we already had 3 little girls. And so a positive pregnancy test is nothing really new to us. It was a routine visit to the doctor for a sonogram to confirm the heartbeat, confirm the pregnancy, and so we could start telling people about it. And so unfortunately, our babysitter canceled on us that day, of all days. So my husband was actually in the van with all 3 girls because we didn't want to take them all into the doctor's office. And I was just going to run upstairs, have the sonogram, come back with the cute little pictures of the heartbeat, and then go on from there. So I'm in the doctor's office. They come and do sonogram. I lay down for the sonogram, and the doctor is looking around, and he goes, oh, no. And I said, oh, no, what? And he wouldn't tell me anything. He's just like, that's not supposed to be like that. I'm going to go get another doctor. I'll be right back. So he leaves, and I'm like, what is going on? My husband's not there. I'm
Terrified.
freaking out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's my baby he's talking about. So they come back in, him and another doctor, and they said, your pregnancy is a C-section scar ectopic pregnancy. And I'm like, what is that? I've never heard of that.
Mm-mm.
And they said, it's not viable. You won't be able to have this baby, and you are in danger of dying, like in the next few hours. A total, utter, complete shock and horror. And
How many weeks along were you at this point, did you say? I'm sorry.
5 weeks. I was 5 weeks pregnant.
5 weeks.
And so at that moment, I'm like, okay, my husband's not up here with me. We're not doing anything right now. I just needed to get back to my husband and my kids and go home and take a second to take everything in. And they're like, no, you don't understand. You have to go and have a termination now. And I was like, excuse me? That's not even in my vocabulary. No. And they're like, no, you need to right now. And I said, I understand that that's your opinion and you're concerned about me, but I'm not prepared to do anything right now. I need to go. And they're like, you can't go. Excuse me, I can't go. I know enough to know that I can go, even if it's against medical advice, that I'm allowed to go. So they didn't really seem to know what to do. And I'm like, give me my paperwork. I'm going. So I left, went downstairs, got in the van, my husband, and I had texted him a little from the doctor's office to know that there's something wrong. And I got in the van with him, and he looks at me and he's like, what's going on? What are we going to do? Before I could even get anything out of my mouth, my phone rang. And of course, I have the 3 girls in the van, so I'm not going to answer it on speaker because they would just hear talking and fussing and fighting, right? So I answered the phone, and it's the doctor from upstairs. And he says, yeah, you can't leave. We have scheduled a termination for you across the street at the infusion center right now, and you need to go over there.
Okay, so let's stop for just a second because, let's strip away the euphemisms that they love to put on this. So essentially, this doctor was telling you, you must have an abortion, and I am scheduling it for you right now.
across the street. I
And you're
scheduled
not
it
allowed
for
to
you.
leave. You're not allowed to leave these premises. So you're a nurse by your profession is you're in nursing, and tell us, what should that doctor-patient relationship have looked like in that situation? Like you're telling us, he was literally telling you you are not allowed to leave. So because of your training, and most of us are not trained in the medical professions, we may not have known. What does a person have a right to do in a situation like this?
That should never have happened in the first place. You don't have the right to keep me prisoner. I have the right to medical information. You take care of me. Essentially, you work for me and my baby, and you are supposed to give me information. And we talk about a treatment plan from there, and we come together to make a treatment plan together.
But you had been refused information. You had been
Agreed.
given only one solution, but really with no, pros and cons, or, really no discussion whatsoever. Did you feel like
Personal
did you feel
opinion,
like you're did you feel
I
like
felt
you're
completely bullied,
okay?
completely bullied, and run over with the situation.
Yeah. I would
It should not
imagine
look like.
I would imagine you felt like your intelligence was also insulted.
Just wait for the rest of this conversation.
All right, continue.
Okay, so I said, you set this up for me without my consent? Absolutely not. No, cancel.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave. He says to me, you ready for it? I'm gonna need to talk to your husband. Did you just hear that? Every woman in America get offended. I just heard it. I'm gonna need to talk to your husband. So you're pro-choice for the woman's body, woman's decision, woman's right. My choice is to go gather more information about what it would look like to carry my baby. You don't like my choice, so now you need to talk to my husband because I'm this irrational, emotional woman who can't make a decision for myself? Are you kidding me? So I said, it's a good thing that I was over the phone, because I don't think any amount of Botox in the world would have hidden my facial expression at that point. I said, okay, you can talk to him. He's going to say the same thing. I turned and I gave the phone to my husband. I'm like, he wants to talk to you. And my husband, who's an Army veteran, like you said, he's a big 6'3" martial arts, super, masculine guy. He doesn't scare easily, and he looked a little nervous when I because he's like, oh dear.
What
So
am I
anyway,
being handed? Yeah.
exactly. So I gave him the phone, and he said, I heard him talking to him. He's talking to me. He said, well, as you can tell, we have decided to not do anything right now. We appreciate your concern, but we're going to leave. Perfect job, husband. So
Well done.
We hung up the phone, and then had a horrible, silent, torturous ride home, because we really couldn't talk about it because we had the girls in the back, right?
Yes.
So
And you had no real
also,
information to base that discussion on. You just had anxiety.
yeah, fear, which is the point. So we went home, and of course it was Labor Day weekend.
Oh,
So
no.
that was Friday. And then
Yeah.
I got to go through the whole weekend and Monday with everybody closed, no doctor's offices, nobody to talk to, nobody to consult. And it was a very torturous weekend. So Tuesday morning, bright and early, as I was watching the clock, as soon as the doctor's office is open, I started calling everybody and their mom. And I was trying to find a second opinion, somebody I could talk to about what it would at least look like to try to carry this pregnancy, to see what my options were, gather that information that you were talking about. And I went through 6 different doctors. They either wouldn't see me, said that, I can't see you, you need to have a termination, or they said, that you need to see a specialist in this. So I got sent to the specialist in Wichita for this type of pregnancy. And I think this was the Tuesday. maybe Wednesday after Labor Day, like right as soon as possible as I could get in. And I took my mom with me because I knew you behave in front of your mama. I don't care who you are. You will behave in front of your mama. And I knew if somebody was going to talk to me, speak to me, like that doctor had with the condescending attitude of what had happened, that I was not going to be able to maintain my professionalism in the amount that I needed to.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what? To be prepared, brought my mama with me. So
she could help you keep your cool.
She can, they bring it out in you.
Yeah.
So
it's good to have backup too, especially when you're feeling bullied. You need backup.
Exactly.
Very important.
That's an accurate way to describe it too. So I didn't feel alone. So I took my mom with me and we went to see this guy, the expert in Wichita on these kinds of pregnancies. And went in, he did an ultrasound as well, examined me. And after he put the ultrasound probe away, he scoots up his chair, looks at me, and scrunches his nose like this, condescending, and says, "Now I know it's going to be hard because you saw the heartbeat, but you can't keep it." Excuse me? It?
You can't keep it.
Turned, looked at my mom, saw her looking at me. I was like, okay. Composure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Business mode. Can you tell me why you say that? What are you, what makes you think that?
Mm-hmm.
He said,
very reasonable request.
Exactly, right? He said, well, you have less than a 1% chance of having a live baby, and you most likely will die trying to have him. Oh, that's hard to hear, right?
Very,
so
yes.
I took a second and I was like, okay, again, Alesia, stay calm and think about the facts.
Mm-hmm.
What are you basing your percentages off of? Well, my personal experience, he said. Okay, well, in your personal experience, how many C-section scar-ectopic pregnancies have you followed with a mother who is at least trying to carry the baby to viability? He says to me, none.
None.
None. So the expert in Wichita that they send women to who have this diagnosis tells all of them to terminate, and he's never even tried to follow a mom who wants to attempt to carry her baby.
Wow.
And that's what you're telling everybody. The expert in the area is telling everybody.
My goodness. That's
you
crazy.
Can tell I'm getting a little mad at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
I was appalled, as I think most people should be with that. So that conversation was over at that point. I was nice, of course. I said, thank you for your time and for evaluating me, but we are going to go. We're going to pursue other options.
Mm-hmm.
So I left, but that was like the 6th, 7th doctor that I had tried. And I was like, I cannot believe I am in this situation where I have exhausted all my resources to just talk about trying to keep my baby. Why can't we talk about keeping my baby? And I was just so hopeless and defeated at that moment. And I was talking to my mom and I said, what do I do? I literally have no idea what else to do. And she said, well, why don't you try calling a pregnancy resource or help center to see if they can give you a resource, somebody to see. They would be able to have the correct network of people to be able to help you.
Fantastic advice. That is a great idea. Yes.
And I was like,
go, Mom.
Well, I don't think it's going to do anything, but what have I got to lose?
What have you got to lose? You bet.
There's nothing else to try. So my mom dropped me off. She went home, and I just Googled pregnancy help center, pregnancy resources, and a Better Choice in Wichita. Shout out to Better Choice. They came up, and so I called them, and I said, how Oh, and a nice lady named Sarah answered the phone. I said, "Hi, I have a story for you." And she said, "Try me. I've heard pretty much everything." I'm like, "Oh, I don't know. This is a doozy." And she said, "Okay, go ahead." And I said, "Well, I'm a happily married woman in my 30s. I have a C-section scar at top of pregnancy. I just want to try to keep my baby. I want to talk to somebody who will listen, to at least be open-minded enough to try to keep my baby."
At least give you the
And
full set of facts so that you're not just getting one story, one
yes,
supposed
yes.
solution.
I mean, I had three beautiful girls at home, a husband, a wonderful life. I don't want to be reckless and just blindly try to do something that's literally impossible and get myself killed. I can't afford to do that. I have babies who depend on me. But I also, one of the most important jobs that God gave me on this earth is to protect my babies. That is one of the most important things. And how am I protecting my baby when I don't even explore the option of giving him a chance? And so, um, wow, that was a rabbit trail. Sorry. So she said, Sarah, a Better Choice, says to me, "Let me set you up with Dr. Ferris at Holy Family Clinic in Wichita." And I said, "Great. When can I see him?" So she actually got me, and I think that day. And I went in and I saw Dr. Ferris. I can still remember the emotion associated with it, talking about it. It was the first time that I had a ray of hope for my baby. And he listened to me and he said, "I'm so sorry that you've gone through this, and I want to help you. I'm a family practice doctor. I'm not an OBGYN, so I can't follow your pregnancy, but I know somebody who can."
So
Thank
you
you.
finally got some compassion, first of all,
Yeah,
right? Someone who was willing to help,
yeah.
starting at A Better Choice, and then continuing with this medical professional who, was practicing medicine with a pro-life mindset. God bless him.
Amen to that. So Dr. Ferris set me up with Dr. Jonathan Scrafford, and I got in the very next day to see him. And that was actually the first night that I halfway slept at all, because I knew the next day I was going to be able to see somebody and get more information.
Wow.
So,
How much time had elapsed since that first conversation with the doctor where you were told what you must do, no questions, don't ask any questions. You're going to go do this now. How much time had elapsed since that moment until you were finally getting to a place where you reached a professional with compassion, a medical professional who could help you, give you full informed, give you full information and get you really equipped to be able to go forward on a path?
it was Labor Day weekend, so that took out a bunch of days. But Friday is when I had that initial ultrasound. And then I think it was Wednesday when I finally got to see Dr. Scrappard.
Okay. So several
Um,
days of agony.
oh, golly, days, nights, endless minutes and hours. So I went in the next day and saw Dr. Scrafford. And not only did Dr. Scrafford have that compassion um, and that hope that I'd been looking for, but it emanated to the rest of his staff. I remember his nurse, Chastelin is her name. And she wasn't even the one that's talking about the treatment plan with me, but she knew of the situation, what was going on. And she showed me such care and compassion and empathy, just checking me in and getting me to be seen. And I was like, thank you, God, that I'm in the right place. So then Dr. Scrapper came in and he examined me and did an ultrasound too, just like the other doctors had. And when he put the probe away, he sat down and looked at me, and I can still to this day see the way that he looked at me with such compassion and understanding. And he says to me, "I've never followed one of these pregnancies before, and I cannot promise you the outcome that you want of a live, healthy baby, but I can support and honor your wish to try to at least give your baby a chance." I just melted. Thank you. I mean, he told me the risks like the other doctors had. He told me, he didn't know the outcome. We came up with a treatment plan together to, not be reckless, because I didn't want to be reckless because of my other babies, but to cautiously and carefully continue with my pregnancy and have everything in place to give my baby a chance to get to viability. It's all I needed to get to viability. And so from then out, I was seen every 2 weeks by him. I tried very hard to only see him or his team, because if there's any point I needed to go for labs or need to go to the ER for whatever, those medical professionals would be like, "What are you doing? This is crazy. You have a death wish." I mean, the same thing the whole time. It was the longest, shortest pregnancy that I ever had, because of the continuous fear. Those voices had put so much fear into my brain. Every time, with pregnancy, you feel little twinges and little, different things. And every time I felt one of those, I would hear, "Reckless, you're going to die. Your kids are going to watch you die." It was horrific.
Well, and shout out to your husband as well, because I mean, I'm just so impressed that he would so resolutely stand by your side and, first of all, defend you from the doctors or the medical professionals in the beginning who really wanted to force you into a certain direction. I mean, he was a wonderful husband and father to really honor you and protect you, defend you. And then I'm sure it was very difficult for him too, as he had, carried some of that same burden alongside you of that anxiety.
Yeah.
But what a wonderful gift to know that you're in the hands of an incredibly intelligent medical professional team that can help you and is being honest with you from the very beginning about all of the different factors that need to be watched and everything that needs to be, just carefully monitored as you go. That's what all of us should want from our medical professionals, is that true care and compassion and patient-driven care. And we know it's possible. We just know that, there's a certain segment of people out there who are not going to provide that same level of care. But what an amazing story. So what happened? What happened next?
Okay, so I would like to say at this point that a lot of times, and still to this day, when people hear about my story or somebody's story similar to mine, they think, "Oh, well, that's like a 1 in a million chance, and she just got super lucky that there was no complications. And you know what? You can even win the lottery once, right? It's just a fluke." Well, in my situation, complications did happen. And it was because I had 3 other babies. They brought home a stomach bug from daycare, and I got it when I was pregnant. And the thing with C-section scar pregnancies is you do not want to go into labor because of the way that the placenta forms into the wall of your uterus. If you go into labor, it can rip and you can hemorrhage. So because I had been vomiting from the stomach bug that my kid gave me, I went into labor at 31 weeks, which is like, you don't want that to happen, right? So it was a Sunday morning, of course. So nothing's open, no doctor's office or anything. But because I had met with Dr. Scrafford and we had this plan in place, we knew about my diagnosis, we knew about the risks, we knew what we needed to do if something happened. Everything was in place. The blood bank was on standby. The equipment they needed for me was in place. The medical team was in place. They needed a special doctor to do the surgery, Dr. Uppendahl, because of the type of surgery that needed to be done, and he was on standby. So a Sunday morning, this complication occurred, and I had to have this emergency delivery, and we both survived. And I got a brand new, healthy 4-pound 2-ounce baby boy on that Sunday morning. That was never supposed to happen. Wow. And we both made it.
Wow. I think we should pause for just a second so we can throw up a picture of your sweet little baby boy, and also of those the medical team members who just walked so faithfully with you and just were amazing. I mean, that is truly the miracle of medicine at work. So beautiful. Tell us about your son.
Oh, wonderful, perfect little boy. He's 3 now. He loves Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He loves Bluey, Mickey Mouse. We just had his 3rd birthday party at a roller skating rink because he was really super into skating. He loves chasing his sisters around the house, roaring like a dinosaur and playing chase. And I mean, to look at him, to interact with him, you'd never know that any of this was in his story.
Wow. Fantastic story. Oh my goodness. And what do his sisters think of him?
Depending on the time that you ask them.
Right.
I mean, they love and adore him, but like if he's like taking their toys and eating them with his dinosaurs, then they're not super happy.
Not
with
so
him.
much. Yeah, you bet.
Normal relationship.
That is a fantastic story, and just what a miracle, what a beautiful testament to you for being, such that intrinsic motivation we have, that as women, as mothers, we want to protect our children, and you just wanted a chance. You wanted information. You wanted medical professionals who would actually work with you instead of against you, and just pushing you towards an abortion. And that's, of course, never the direction that we want to go. So so this is obviously a very personal story for you, but I have a feeling, there are some lessons in here for all of us in the pro-life movement. And, what do you think? What do you think our takeaways can be from your story?
So I didn't really know what you were going to ask me, but I figured that might be one of the questions you asked me. So I put a lot of thought into it because this is a big chance and a platform for me to be able to reach a lot of women to talk about the situation. So you have pictures, but I also brought one. There's my little boy. See that face right there?
He's adorable.
That is the it that I was not supposed to be able to keep. This little adorable face is the it. The little boy that loves dinosaurs. His favorite color is red. He wants to be Spider-Man when he grows up. Is the little boy that they wanted me to kill so that I could have an easier pregnancy. I tell you what, that pregnancy was not easy. Not a moment of it was easy. But every time he smiles at me, it is 100% worth it. I would do it 1,000,000 times over again for him to take his little hands and put them on my face and look in my eyes and say, "Ay, you mama." I would do it 1,000,000 times. So anybody who's out there who's in a similar situation, being bullied and just wanting to give your baby a chance, I know you feel alone. I did too. But you're not alone. You can message me any day or night, and it would be my honor to walk with you through a journey like that and support you in your fight for your baby. And if I'm not available, reach out to a Better Choice or a resource or help center. I'm sure there's somebody there that will walk with you through the journey and support you in the fight for your baby. Because it is a battle, it is a fight, but it is so worth it.
That's so beautiful. Yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, I think we have over 50 pregnancy resource centers in the state, and really, members of the pro-life movement individually love to walk alongside women in difficult pregnancies of similar to yours, but all kinds of different reasons and things that can make pregnancy less than easy. But, there's help all around. And I think you were so wise to Make sure that you had your allies close to you, and to not allow yourself to be herded into a decision that you did not want. You needed support from others, and you needed information. And with that, you could make a decision. You could use your God-given intuition, wisdom as a mom, and work with those medical professionals to give your baby the chance he deserved. How true. I mean, you make such an excellent point. That doctor, told you cannot keep it, and really dehumanizing your little boy. And he is a living, breathing, beautiful little boy who is going to be, such an incredible part of your life for the rest of your life. So God bless you, and thank you for sharing your story. I definitely am impressed by your courage and your persistence.
Just love my baby.
Yeah.
I still do.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Alesia. So on behalf of Kansans for Life, we're really grateful to you for sharing your story and your courage and your persistence.
Thank you.
And, the medical team who walked with you, we're really grateful for them. We have some amazing medical professionals in this state, and this story is really just an inspiration to all of us. So, and thanks to everyone who joined us today. If you believe that the right to life is essential and worth fighting for, if you want to make a difference, share this podcast with others. Help others to find hope in their journeys as well. You can stay connected with us at kfl.org and sign up to receive our updates. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, X, and TikTok at Kansans for Life. And if you want to shoot us an email, just send that to kfl@kfl.org. Let us know what you think. Shoot ideas to us. We'd love to hear from you. So as we say goodbye, never forget, the pro-life movement is on the right side of history. Truth always wins in the end. We hope you'll join us next time. Thank you.